Hi guys, Brandon and Lana here. And as most of you know, the 2020 was the most challenging year yet.
Yeah, definitely one for the history books. Between a global pandemic, a recession caused by the global pandemic that has caused substantial unemployment, and then last, a lot of social unrest currently due to current events, we are definitely facing a different time for sure.
Yeah, and what is the best way to end 2020? Presidential election. So, yeah.
Yeah, so this being one of the most contentious probably in a century, we're going to talk about how typical elections are affecting the real estate market, and then we'll touch on how we feel this one will impact us as well.
Correct. So in this video, we're talking about will the presidential election affect real estate market and how?
Yeah, so in history, basically going back, take it as far back as 1963, in non-presidential years, we're generally seeing about almost a 10% reduction between October and November for real estate sales. In a presidential year or presidential election year, we're seeing typically about a 15% reduction. And the reason why is because no matter who your candidate is or who your party is, everyone's on the edge to see who's going to be the next president and how that's going to impact our world or our economy.
Correct. So are those sales lost forever? Like the sales that are, you say sales were dropping?
No, not at all. In fact, just historically, it is not. Basically what happens is everyone holds off, they tighten up, they wait, and after election, whether it's a few weeks or a few months later, that amount of reduction in demand increases, and we actually see typically right after an election year or the election year, we see an increase or the best year in home sales for that presidential period.
So in the next 4-year period, the 2021 is historically would be one of the best real estate markets.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's interesting, especially because right now, as most of you know, even though there is definitely a tale of two markets where downtown real estate is suffering some of the biggest hits and is potentially seeing 2016, 2017 pricing go out further into a lot of the suburbs or less urban areas for the city, and you are seeing massive amounts of buying, massive amounts of demand, and not a whole lot of supply. In fact, showings are up, according to Showing Time, almost 62% from the year before. Meanwhile, we have about nationally, I believe, 400,000 less listings than we did the year before as well. So less homes on the market, a lot more demand, and builders aren't helping the situation at all. In fact, a lot of them are not going to be able to keep up with the demand. A lot of materials are on back order, but in addition to that, they're also holding back on some of their lots until next year to see what happens. Yeah, so you can't even hold on to something for next year at this point. You're just kind of waiting and seeing what happens with the market.
So yeah, a lot of businesses are pretty much concerned about the economy and how it's going, but the real estate is not one of those businesses. It's booming and blooming in this really, really difficult world we live in right now. So historically, did it matter which president is elected?
No. So historically, it didn't. There would be a decrease, and then there would be an increase, like I said, about a month or two later sometimes. In this one, however, though, everyone's kind of waiting to see what happens. And the reason why is because on one side, if one guy wins and we get some new blood in there, that may throw some new life into what's been a big concern for a while, for a lot of people. On the other hand, if the other guy wins that's been in power for a while already, there is going to be potentially a financial, what would I call it, a financial optimism from that group as well. So historically, it doesn't make a big difference. In this one, we're all kind of waiting, and we have less than a month to see how this is all going to pan out.
Crazy. Well, the bottom line is, if the mortgage interest rates will stay low, and the unemployment will keep decreasing the way it has been here in our state, then the real estate market should be thriving. So this is kind of where we at.
Yeah, that's what we expect. And honestly, I don't see a lot of change other than for the rest of the year, other than continuing rise in home prices, continuing rise in demand. I anticipate at the new year, people still wanting to move, start families, change jobs, you name it. That's all still going to continue, and it may actually propel the market to go even stronger. One thing I don't want you to concern yourself with is the bidding wars as well. Those are going to continue, we anticipate. However, on a daily basis, we are improving upon and discovering new ways to make sure that you are much more competitive in this market without having to give up your due diligence or the ability to go through the proper process as you go to purchase.
Well, yeah, this will be it for this video, and hopefully you found it helpful. And remember, this was not about the politics, it's about real estate and the real estate market during the rest of the 2020.
Not political.
Nope, not political. So yeah, don't mix those two up. We really hoping to get the message across about the real estate market during the rest of few months of the 2020, crazy 2020 year. So this is it. Hopefully it was helpful, and stay tuned for more. Thank you for watching. Bye. Before we go any further, oh my gosh, you didn't put the microphone in, did you?
Where is it?
You're sitting on it.